Welcome back. We're still with Dr. Kabir Usman, the Director General of the Center for Management Development. Thank you for joining us once again.
Thank you very much.
Well, we're still on the ban on the foreign trainings, and just before we left off for the break, you talked about how you can prosecute offenders, people who run shabby and shoddy management training centers. Really, you can prosecute them. How many do you have in your custody right now?
Well, literally, as I have said, we have been doing our best, to make sure that people understand, that they have no right, to operate without, legal, backing. So it's a typical example, is what we say is when you look at our accreditation criteria, the first thing we ask is somebody established by law? Have you been registered by CSC, or is a mandatory thing by act? And if it is, we need to see the evidence. And the second element is the capability and competence, of the workforce that you have got that can deliver the training program. Then the third one is the program itself. And then, of course, we ask about quality assurance and the location where those programs are delivered. So in either of these, if you violate, you can be prosecuted. But what, as I have said, we have to emphasize is to emphasize the culture, of giving the carrot, not the stick, to make sure that people understand that, it is illegal, for them to operate without being accredited by us. And so in some cases, now we have established a legal department, and the legal department is pursuing quite a number of cases, on which we will possibly, go to the court. And that is why in some cases, when we go for accreditation, we go with security agencies along with us, so that people know it's no longer business as usual. Because there is quite a lot of money that is being put in training, but there isn't a lot of value for money for it. And we cannot have that. And we cannot compete them with the rest of the world. Well, the world is globalized, and we don't have the human capacity. If you look at Japan, and you look at Singapore, and you look at all developed nations, they have only developed because they have knowledge capital. So we cannot allow that to slip down the ladder. And another instance as well now, we are saying that from the 1st of February, the amnesty is lifted. If people do not conform, then they will be prosecuted. We have done quite a lot of homework. We have done quite a lot of sensitization work. And we have got a lot of resources in place on our website. And even if you talk about the programs people deliver, we have specialist programs which we have actually designed to help people, in areas of leadership, in areas of management, areas of administration, personal effectiveness, about project management, and project selection, about project benchmarking, about performance systems, about performance management. And all these kind of programs are very, very essential, about planning cadre, management of finances, new accounting systems, audit, cyber crimes, and all other things. So we have developed quite a lot, over 120 programs.
You see, how much do you think the federal government has benefited from the foreign trainings, as a way of helping the nation's civil service?
Well, it has benefited significantly in the sense that, of course, you see there is an exposure, and that's the benefit of foreign training, quite okay. I cannot sit here and say there are no instances where there will not be foreign training, because there could be new sectors of the economy, there could be new ideas, issues, for example, about cybercrime, issues about performance management system, issues about monitoring and evaluation, and economic issues, to tackle issues in the petroleum sector, issues in the agri sector, etc. But the importance of that kind of training is to focus on train the trainers. So we should go and learn, from abroad, from our partners, and then come and cascade. And we also have various partnerships at various levels, with many universities and training institutions, in South Africa, in Switzerland, in Malaysia, in China, in South Korea, in Singapore, in the UK, in Germany, and so on. So that where we ask the resource persons and the facilitators, to come and contribute, their tacit and explicit knowledge, to the Nigerian population. So there is a dynamic, relationship, between our partners, abroad, and Nigeria. But sadly, Nigerians are very intelligent people. I know people talk about brain drain, about brain wastage, and about brain damage. But sadly, what I wanted to imply is that in every institution you go, possibly across the world, you'll find Nigerians, either in the education industry or in the health industry. So it simply means we have got the capacity. And that is why we have no choice and no option other than to promote the local content agenda.
All right, now this ban on foreign trainings, your center, of course, has it on its website as part of its programs that you're going to be training in the UK and in Dubai for 2015. How is that?
Well, literally what we are essentially saying, there are some certain areas where training abroad is necessary. And when you talk about the ban on training, it's not saying 100%. Nobody will ever go, outside for foreign training, because, as I've said to you, issues about security. Do we have the capacity? Do we have the resources? Which aspect of it? Issues about cybercrime, the new financial auditing standards. So there are some certain programs, and also there is bilateral agreement, with some certain governments. Particularly in November, I was in South Korea. We went 29 Nigerians, including myself. I led the delegation on e-government. And e-government, training program is an excellent, opportunity that instills transparency, accountability, access, enhancing performance, productivity, and cost cutting and value for money, in order to provide, service, to the society. So they are very useful bilateral, relationships within which people can go and learn and come and cascade.
Now, one of the challenges, of course, confronting programs like this is funding.
Yes.
How exactly do you get institutions, agencies, MDAs, in general, to advocate, for them to come out for trainings?
Well, we are advocating. I think this is a very important, point, because, funding is a challenge for us too, and it is very limited. Even though we can understand the factors as to why, it is a case, about the issues of insecurity and issues about the price of oil, about under $60, a barrel, but also we have to make sure that we use, resources adequately and equitably. There has to be some bit of frugality, in terms of the way we conduct our own affairs. And there has to be some bit of partnership, and there has to be some bit of synergy. And one of the areas we are providing a lot of training program now is on public-private partnership. We want people to partner. And we are also emphasizing on customer care, because government cannot do it all. And we have to rely, on ourselves, to make sure that we use little resources prudently, that is available in our own hands. We are looking at many other ways. Typical example, there are many ways you can enhance capacity of individual. It doesn't have to be, some external training. It could be through mentoring, it could be through shadowing, it could be through partnership. I was in this situation in 2010. I had no money in order to raise the capacity of my staff in terms of ICT. I want all my staff to be ICT compliant. But what I did was we employ a new director, and we work together with the directors of other departments, and cascade down the knowledge and skills downwards. And we have internally raised the capacity of all our own workforce. But the mentality and the stigma of that is, no, I have to go and be trained outside the center or outside the country or outside the state. No, we have to look inside and think outside the box. And I'm sure that with the little resources we have got, I'm not saying it's enough, we could do with more, but I'm equally saying that the ones that we have got, if we do it judiciously and prudently, it will head up somewhere.
Now, you plan, of course, to improve local content, which is expected given the situation right now. But you also mentioned that you intend to clamp down on unregistered management institutions in the country. How do you intend to do this effectively?
Well, what we are essentially, we have built a database, and we work together with Federal Revenue Service, and we work together with Corporate Affairs Commission. And we have got, the Center for Management Development is located in each of the zonal office headquarters. We have our offices in each of the geopolitical zone, and our staff have been collecting data, to identify, management consultant and management training institutions. And we have been doing some bit of mail shot now, writing them, telling them, informing them, and inviting them, to come and register. And we are making significant progress. And as I have said, we will provide a lot of advice, we'll provide a lot of guidance. We are not about, sanctions. We are about reward. We are saying that these are going to be the benefits, if you embark, on accreditation. It's not just to come and certify you. We are going to provide you with relevant, areas of curriculum, that is going to raise, effectiveness, efficiency, and performance of your workforce. And ethical code of practice, like typical example, we encourage all management development, institutions that are providing training in whatever kind to talk about value reorientation. To think about the state, Nigeria first and we are second, but not the other way around.
Well, that's the much we can take right now. Thank you so much for your thoughts, Director General for the Center for Management Development. Thank you, Dr. Kabir.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, as always, for your comments. You can share your experience with us using the address and Twitter handle on your screen. And don't you forget to include your name and your location. And you can also let us know anything happening within your area, especially if you are in the nation's capital. Now, you can view the program on youtube.com/channelsweb/videos. Make your comments after viewing the current video, as well as older episodes of the program. We thank you so much for watching this week. I'm Gloria Ume-Ezeoke. See you again.